What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reacting to Game Week 13 in the Premier League. This was a really good game week for the youngsters. A lot of young players were really impressive. We start off at the Etihad, Manchester City against Liverpool. At the time, the top two in the Premier League. I went with a 3-1 Man City win. It ended up being a 1-1 draw. I thought City were very unlucky not to win. Jeremy Doku was absolutely amazing. There's this narrative that Trent Alexander-Arnold was very good in this game, but he was not. He was dreadful. Like, Doku kept terrorising him. He went past him 7 times. And people think, oh, but it didn't lead to anything. Doku can't control his teammates. Like, he set both Erling Haaland and Julian Alvarez up with golden opportunities and both of them missed them. He can't do anything about it. Look at this chance that Alvarez had. Doku is the reason Alvarez was in this much space and had that much time to pick out a spot. And it's not his fault that Alvarez couldn't do so. I think Matip and Van Dijk for Liverpool were quite good. For Man City, same with the Kanji and Ake. And also Doku, who was phenomenal. Bernardo Silva also played quite well. Haaland scored and actually made quite a few good runs, but unfortunately his teammates couldn't pick him out. City also had a goal disallowed at 1-0, which was a bit controversial, a bit soft from Alisson. There was an arm on him, I can understand why it was disallowed, but it was very lucky. And Alisson did have a bit of a stinker, but he also did make some important saves. So he was kind of at fault for Manchester City's goal because he just booted it up. Trent didn't even try and put in a tackle, which is why he's just so overrated. But he did score a pretty nice goal. In the end, Liverpool were definitely the team more happy with the result. Burnley against West Ham, banged it. Burnley might as well just start packing their bags. I mean, you can't be 1-0 up at home when you haven't won a home game yet and throw it away. It's not even like they just throw away the 2 points, they throw away all 3. They were 1-0 up in the 85th minute, and by the 92nd, they were 2-1 down. You're at home, this is 7 home losses in a row for them. No team had ever lost their first 6 home games of a new Premier League season. Like, come on man, Burnley, what are you doing? Divin Mubama came on off the bench and had a real big impact. He was a big cause of the first goal. With Antonio sideline and Bowen, a doubt for the next game. Danning's not really impressing. He could be in for a start in the next game, which would be really exciting. West Ham showed a lot of heart and spirit to come back. You know, when you're 1-0 down in the 85th minute, you might think, oh, it's a bit of a lost cause, but to win from that position is amazing. Mohamed Kudus, proven to be one of the signings of the season with 2 assists in this game. And Souček once again scoring a goal. He's really reinvented himself this season. Luton Town against Crystal Palace. I went with a 1-1 draw. Luton ended up winning 2-1. The result isn't the only concerning thing for Crystal Palace because Eberechi Eze picked up an injury, and it's really unfortunate because he is such a good player and he's shown that in spells this season. I'm not sure how bad it is, but it's unfortunate for them because he obviously had an injury early on in the season. Elise has been out until this point with an injury. He, by the way, played really well. He scored a wonderful goal, one of the goals of the season. He almost got an assist right at the end as well. His cross found a teammate who, unfortunately for Palace, only managed to find the crossbar. Luton's first win at Kenilworth Road this season. I think Crystal Palace will feel a bit hard done by. They were probably overall the slightly better team. But this is what we're talking about with Luton, you know, the home atmosphere in these sort of games. They need to be winning them if they're going to stay up, and they did so. But times could be looking a bit bleak for Crystal Palace if Eze is out for a while. They've definitely not been anywhere near as good as they were towards the start of the season, especially defensively. Like the second Luton goal, all Anderson's fault. I don't know what he left a cross. If the goalkeeper doesn't tell you to leave it, you clear it. It's like one of the first rules you learn as a player. It was just terrible defending from him, and he's been really good this season as well. Newcastle United against Chelsea. I predicted a 2-1 Newcastle win. They're not winning 4-1. And I actually originally, after the Chelsea draw with Manchester City, predicted a 4-1 Newcastle win in this game. I'm going to put a screenshot of a chat between me and one of my friends who is a Chelsea fan. As we got close to match, I was thinking, oh, I don't know about that. Maybe I'm underestimating Chelsea just because I hate them a lot. Turns out I was right. Newcastle were phenomenal in this game as well, by the way. Chelsea looked like amateurs here. Lewis Miley was another young player that had an absolute stormer. He was phenomenal. He set up the first goal for Alexander Isak with a beautiful through ball. And Isak, you know, Isak does what Isak does, you know, he's such a class player. Chelsea then equalised after Sterling scored a really nice free kick. You could argue it was a dive. Joelinton had a golden chance from a corner as well. Trippier right on the money. Joelinton was about 3 yards out, he headed it wide. Trippier then had a free kick where he hit the crossbar from like 40 yards out. It was such a good strike. But in the second half, Newcastle scored 2 goals in the space of a minute. Sells headed home a brilliant Gordon cross to make it 2-1, and then a minute later, Thiago Silva, horrible mistake. Joelinton pounced, made it 3-1. Reece James then got himself sent off. after Gordon stole the ball off him and he took him out when he was already on a yellow card. Really stupid from him. Gordon then made it 4-1, and he was fantastic this game. Anthony Gordon, you know, when he first signed, I was really disappointed with the signing. I thought, well, you could have spent 50 mil a bit better than that. He's not amazing. He's done okay at Everton, nothing special. But this is why Eddie Howe's the GOAT, man. This is why he's the best manager in the world, because he saw what we see now in Gordon. He saw a real good player, one of the best wingers in the Premier League. And I owe Anthony Gordon an apology. I owe Eddie Howe an apology. I got it wrong. Anthony Gordon is now one of my favourite players. He's not just a really good attacking player. He doesn't just have a real good cross on him. He can't just shoot. He can't just dribble. He's not just quick. His defensive work rate is something that I really like about him. You know, he'll always go back. He will sacrifice himself for the team if he needs to. He's a phenomenal player to watch, and he's someone that, as a manager, you'd love to have in your team. On the contrary, Raheem Sterling did not track back once. Humbling for Chelsea, a deserved humbling, and something that they did need, I think, because they were getting a bit too big for their boots. Nottingham Forest against Brighton and Hove Albion. I predicted a 1-1 draw. Brighton ended up winning 3-2. Forest almost got a leveller right at the end. Brighton actually were reduced to 10 men around the 75th minute. Overall, I'd say Brighton were the better side. They hadn't won in so long, and it was disappointing for them because they'd started the season so well. Nottingham Forest suffered their first home defeat of the season, which is disappointing for them. Ferguson's goal to make it 1-1 was amazing, by the way. That was my favourite goal of the match. He was just so calm with the way he placed it into the corner. So composed. He's 19 and he's doing that. Like, what a play he's going to be, man. Sheffield United against Bournemouth. Wow, was I wrong about this one? I thought because they're the home side, Sheffield United would win, but they were absolutely battered by Bournemouth. It ended 3-1. Sheffield United did get a goal very late on. Overall, Bournemouth were fantastic. This is the Bournemouth I thought we were going to see this season. Semenyo and Tavernier especially, so good in this game. Tavernier got 2 goals. Semenyo's dribbling was once again a real threat. And yeah, to be honest, Bournemouth could have had even more. They were so dominant. Bournemouth definitely can push on towards mid-table because there's a lot of teams around them that don't look great right now. That's now 3 wins in 4 games for Bournemouth as well, 2 on the trot. Brentford against Arsenal. I predicted a 3-1 Arsenal win. They did end up winning 1-0 very late on through Kai Havertz. Never doubted you, fella. I was very happy to see him score that goal though, mainly because I just hate Brentford, but it was a really good goal. Saka put a brilliant ball into the back post, as he always does. A really intelligent header from Havertz though to go through the keeper's legs from a narrow angle. Overall, this wasn't a classic. Brentford, as they always are, very defensive against one of the better teams in the league. They had chances of their own though. Ramsdale started the game horribly, made a horrendous error where he just slipped on the ball. Declan Rice was there to clear it off the line. Once again, I just want to mention, man, Declan Rice, he might be the best football player in the world right now, man. Like, honestly, he's so good. He's been man of the match in almost every single one of Arsenal games. He always turns up. He's always there. He does everything that you need him to do. 105 million was a steal for him. The Arsenal should have to send West Ham another 105 million pounds because he has been sensational. By far their best player this season, and the main reason why they are on top of the pile right now. Arsenal do need to start playing a little bit better though. They're relying on Declan Rice and William Saliba and Gabriel a bit too much to get them through games. The attack does need to sort themselves out a little bit. Tottenham Hotspur against Aston Villa. I feel really sorry for Tottenham fans, I can't lie. I predicted a 2-1 Tottenham win, ended up being a 2-1 Aston Villa win. Tottenham took the lead early on. For the first 15-20 minutes, Villa couldn't even get out of their own box. Tottenham was so dominant. They created so many chances. They couldn't, Kulusevski had a 1-on-1 that he hit the post from. He had to score that. Matty Cash then made a horrendous challenge on Rodrigo Bentancur and injured him for another 2.5 months. Really sad to see. A horrible challenge from Cash. Could have seen him sent off for that, but he should have been sent off because he made another bad challenge later on. After Bentancur's injury, Villa got into it a bit more, created a few more chances, and ended up winning the game. Ollie Watkins once again on the score sheet. Son scored 3 goals in this game. All 3 were offside. 3 defeats in a row now for Tottenham. Aston Villa moved themselves above Tottenham into the top 4. Dude, I really feel for Tottenham, man, because it's another injury. Everton against Manchester United. Now, we've all seen Garnacho's goal. It was a brilliant strike. Probably the best goal the Premier League has ever seen. Overall though, despite Manchester United winning the match 3-0, I thought Everton were the better team. Onana had to pull off a number of fantastic saves to stop Everton from scoring. They hit the woodwork as well. I think they should feel really hard done by with that result and really unlucky not to win. And I think the fact that the supporters after the game clapped the team, were still chanting, showed that they appreciate that performance and they were unlucky. I feel really hard done by if I was an Everton fan because that was a really good performance for the result. result was horrendous. And the final game of the game week, Fulham against Wolves, I did predict a 1-goal win for Fulham, but I said it was going to be 2-1, not 3-2. I think given how the game went, a narrow Fulham win was probably the right result. There were 3 penalties given in this game, 2 to Fulham, 1 to Wolves. I thought all 3 were the correct decision. A lot of people think that one of Fulham's penalties were very soft. I disagree. I think it was right. However, I can understand that Fulham were a bit lucky because Tim Ream could have been sent off because he made the foul for the Wolves penalty and he was already on the yellow card. You could have seen a second yellow. Vinicius also could have been sent off after he kind of headbutted Max Kilman. I don't know, I think it'd been harsh. That's what I thought of the game week. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon for another video.